Welcome to Freedom Forest, guys, the 3-acre edible oasis that we're creating here in the south of England, where we like to try lots of new things and push the boundaries with what we can grow using permaculture and no-dig methods. Absolutely no chemicals, weed killers or synthetic fertilisers, just what nature provides. Hi folks, and welcome back to our gardens. In today's video I'm going to be talking about some of the crops that will see us right through winter and giving you a little tour of our polytunnel, because I cannot believe the growth that we have had in here in just 10 days. I planted up all of these new winter plantings on the 21st of October. And they have sprung into life, and I'm pretty sure that we will be getting our first small harvests of winter salads and herbs in here probably within about a week to 10 days, and that is absolutely amazing. So in this middle bed here I've got a really good mix of lots of different salads for winter and lots of different herbs. We've got coriander, dill, parsley, and then I've got some spicy mustards as well, and this is one of my favourite. This is red Mizuna, and I just love how this one looks. Such a beautiful plant. And then as you can see here we've got spinach as well, and this spinach I'll keep smaller to use in salads. And what I've done differently this year, instead of planting just one big block of salad leaves and then maybe having some herbs, is I've really mixed up the bed. So I've just got a small block of lettuce, then I've got the spicy mustard, and then we've got garlic in here this year as well, spinach, more garlic, a block of herbs. So I've really tried to mix up how everything is planted to give more diversity for us and also more of a polyculture in terms of the plantings in here. And I've put garlic in the polytunnel for the first time this year, and it's a French hardneck variety. And one of the reasons for that is because last year our outdoor crop of garlic got rust for the first time, and it was a lot smaller than it normally is. And I've heard other people talking about how growing garlic in the polytunnel can really reduce the level of rust that you get. So I'm trying that this year, really excited to see how it goes, and also really excited for the extra diversity that is adding into this bed as well. So as we come down, we've got rocket in here as well, different varieties of lettuce. So we've got Lola Rosa and red oak leaf. We've got Grenoble red. I think this is green oak leaf. From experience over the last few years of growing the winter salads, I've actually noticed that the salads with a red tinge seem to be hardier. And actually this green salad bowl has been one of the ones that's been more tender to frost when we've had really cold spells. But the red tinged leaves seem to last and stand a lot better. And I also discovered last year that the rats didn't like eating the red leaves as much, which was really interesting. They favoured any of the pure green leaves because we had a bit of a problem with the rats getting in here last year, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. We've got coriander, and then here this is garlic kale, which is a smaller kale plant, and it has a really nice little garlic hint to it. So we've got those in the polytunnel this year. They'll be really nice added to salads. Green Mizuna. This is leafing celery, and this is just self-seeded in here from a big plant that I had last year, and I'm really happy to keep it in here. It is great for winter soups and stews, and it seems to just love growing in here, so happy days. And then down this end of the middle bed is pretty much a repeat of what we saw at the top. So we're just mixing up garlic, herbs, lettuce, herbs, lettuce, spinach, mustards, and they're just growing so fast. I'm really, really surprised at the growth. So down this side of the polytunnel, I'll just hop over here. Another plant that we have in these polytunnels, which does really well for us at this time of year, is Cape gooseberries. And we've got these planted in all four corners of the polytunnel. And Cape gooseberries provide these beautiful little fruits that we start harvesting usually around the beginning of October. And they can crop right through into December sometimes. And in the polytunnel, mostly these actually grow as perennials. Sometimes we do lose one, and then we just grow it on and we sow the seeds for them the same time we put our tomatoes in. And this plant here is actually a brand new one from this year, and it's actually the most vigorous plant that we've got. And what we've noticed the last few years is the plants that we replace as annuals actually produce much bigger fruits. So whilst it is amazing that some of these have been staying on as perennials, we are thinking that we might start changing the plants every year so that we get to enjoy the biggest, juiciest fruits. And the cropping so far hasn't been as prolific as it normally is. There are lots of fruits on these plants, so I am hoping for a late crop. But again, I think that this is down to the reduced sunlight hours that we've had this year. We have been enjoying Cape gooseberries for over a month though, but just not as many as we normally get. But yeah, you can just see all these little cases here all over this plant are where the fruits are forming up. And so we should have a really good harvest coming, as long as we get a little bit more sunlight and we don't get too many hard frosts. They can withstand light frost, particularly in the polytunnel, but yeah, absolutely love the Cape gooseberries. As you can see, we've still got some of our summer plantings in. We have still got beautiful red and yellow peppers that we are harvesting from in here, which I just absolutely love at this time of year. And then dotted through the gaps, we've got lots of Brassicas. And this is a mixture of quick heading collies. I think it was a magic cauliflower mix I got from Real Seeds. And then we've got purple sprouting broccoli, and we've got some kales as well. And so I'm really hoping that all these extra Brassicas will come on a little bit earlier than the outdoor varieties and really help us to fill the earlier part of the hungry gap. And I grew Brassicas, I grew kale in the polytunnel for the first time last year, and I cannot believe how big the plants went, and some of those are still going, which I will show you on the other side in a minute. So in this bed again, to mix up what we're planting and give more diversity to the ground and the soil. So I've got herbs dotted in here as well. This is dill. And then I've got more spinach, and this is a different variety of spinach. This is called giant spinach, and we grew it last year and the leaves really were gigantic. It was amazing to see. So that one's a lot of fun to grow. Anywhere there was a space, we've got kale and cauliflowers, and eventually obviously these peppers will come out as well. Lots of different herbs, and I'm going to hop back over to this side, and as you can see here, this is one of the kale plants that I planted this time last year, and we have harvested so much from this plant. It has been amazing, and it is still going. It was ginormous. It was all over the path here. I've literally cut it right back when I cleared down this polytunnel. There's a couple of Brassicas here, which was from an earlier planting. These were from a June planting, I believe. So again, these ones might come on earlier again. This is purple sprouting broccoli. So hopefully we might get a really nice spread of when we get to enjoy a lot of these plants, which for me normally don't come till, I think it's about March we get our purple sprouting broccoli. I'll check up on that one. So one thing you might notice here, down this side again, we've got all different brassicas dotted in, all the different herbs, the giant spinach again. But you'll see I've got these cuffs around the newly planted brassicas, and these are just cut down tree protectors. And the reason for this is because last year, just as all of our brassicas were getting going, the rats got in the polytunnel and they chewed through the young stems of the brassicas. And including this plant here, I thought that that would be completely the end of those plants. Now obviously it did set them back massively, but come late winter, early spring, those plants burst into life again, and these are some of the brassicas that you're still seeing in here now. We did lose some of them, but I'm trying to learn from last year and hopefully alleviate all of these beautiful brassicas getting chewed. And so this is the solution that I've come up with to try and fend off the rats. And I've just actually put a trail cam up in here, so I'm going to start monitoring what's happening at night, so I will know if they are in here or not this year. So down this end we have still got this trombone courgette, which is giving us beautiful courgettes on the 1st of November still. And I expect this plant will still keep going for a few more weeks yet. There are lots of young fruits still coming on it, and we're still getting some really massive courgettes forming up too. And you may have heard me talk about this plant before, but you can harvest the young fruits as courgettes, or as you can see down here, you can let the fruits cure off and go orange and then harvest them and use them like winter squash. So super amazing plant. I've shared lots about this in other videos. So yeah, we're just leaving it to run its course, and we'll see when it starts becoming less productive, and then we will clear this space. And I've saved over a few more brassicas and herbs that we can fill the gap with. So a couple more things that I have still got to plant in this polytunnel for winter plantings. I've got a tray of spring onions, and I'll dot those just through where there's gaps. But the growth with plants from our September planting, end of September planting, has been incredibly slow this year, and that's one of the reasons why I'm so surprised all of this salad has burst into life like it has, because everything was smaller than this time last year, and I think that that was due to the lower sunlight levels that we've been having and are still getting right now. So the spring onions are a lot smaller. I'm just letting them grow on a little bit before I plant them in. And then the other thing that will be filling the gaps in this polytunnel will be an early planting of broad beans, and I'll probably sow those quite soon, and then we'll get those in the ground. And it worked really well last year. We were harvesting broad beans a good 6-8 weeks earlier than we were outside. So again, it just bridges that hungry gap and gives us amazing crops that see us right through winter and help us to be self-sufficient in our food needs, which is our main thing that we love doing here at Freedom Forest, is just providing as much of our own food for ourselves as possible. I hope you've enjoyed having a look around our polytunnel today and at the crops that we're growing to see us through winter. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up just below. Drop us any comments or questions. Make sure you're subscribed to Freedom Forest Life, and we look forward to seeing you here again soon. Thanks for watching. Peace and plants.